And welcome back to VirtualCon 2014 here in the lecture hall with our final presentation for the conference in the lecture hall. What is your engagement level of your virtual relationship? Pamela Clift, who will be our speaker today, is the Roadside Philosopher, and it's her pen name and online persona for the author of the book Virgin's Handbook on Virtual Relationships, which is a down-to-earth...
Everybody. Everyone is high. Okay, very good. So here we go. Yeah, feel free to chat. I'm going to be watching the chat. I'm sure that the chat is probably a little bit of lag, but that's okay. I will get to your question as it goes through. This is virtual. Ah, yes. One of the problems that we have, okay, blah, 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 Virgin's Handbook, professional clown, da-da-da, no one cares about me. I don't care about me. What we need to know is we need to answer the questions of our virtual engagement. And what level is the person opposite you in? That's the question. The whole purpose is to be able to recognize what level of engagement your opposite relationship is, the opposite person is in, and mirror back only that level of engagement. And we will go through some horrible, horrible words that I made up myself so you can pay attention and not yell at me because it doesn't make any difference. I made them up so I get to define them. Okay. But first of all, let me see if this is correct here as well. Confusions about interactions in virtual worlds. Okay? It's just a game. No, it's social media between real life people. I've met more real people in here than real life. Is it lying if I'm just pretending anyway? Nobody is who they say. No, people show their more real side. But he said he loved me and now it's just over? The me behind the keyboard is the same as the me avatar. No, it's just a cartoon world. How many have you ever heard of these things anywhere before? This is the confusion that we have. You're welcome to comment and chat, and I will respond. This is what everybody argues about, and this is what I think we have our problem with, getting this out into the masses, is because guess what, dears? We are fighting our own selves. We don't know what we are. Yeah, polygons. We don't know what we are, so we can't say, here's the taste of salt, because we don't know what that is, because everybody's saying, no, it's not, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. Just play. If you're being real, be real. Oh my gosh, we have so much to go through. Okay, it's going to go kind of fast. For those of you who would like to look at some presentations, you might go to my website called Virtual Handhold LLC, go into the education icon, and there's a state of being class. Who has mead? If I had mead, then you would never get through this. Okay, so I've got to just go on through. Yes. Okay, so what we have here is my very first question. Now, I've been in virtual worlds for 7 years, okay? Before that, at the beginning of the internet, a long time ago, when there was just AOL and CompuServe and, all those kind of things, I couldn't understand what the heck people were doing. When I got into virtual worlds, when we were a clown, a long time ago. Oh, wait, 1990s. Okay. I came in here and I was totally confused. People were yelling and saying, you should do it this way, you should do it that way, you should not behave like that. So I tried to figure out, what was the first question I wanted to figure out? What's real in both worlds? What's real in both worlds? Okay, so me being all clever and all that, I decided, since I was going to be in education, I was going to make an acronym. And since in education they have Clift Notes, I used my last name and we had Clift Notes for virtual. How's that? So these are the things that I came up with for what's real in both worlds, whether it's in the virtual or in that biological thing that we all have to exist in. Okay. And real. Okay. First, so we use C. C is for creativity. Creativity is real in here. With music, art, scripting, role play, creativity is important. So that is in both worlds. L is for leisure. We come here for enjoyment, for social, creative. I thought that's fine. And it's fun. That's true in both worlds. Then someone said something to the effect that it could be for lag, if we do L for lag. And I'm going, well, no, you don't want lag. Lag's only really for bandwidth and computer problems, da-da-da-da. But then I couldn't find my glasses. The check didn't come in the mail. I got stuck in traffic. So if you want to call L for lag, that works too. That works both in both worlds. L is for leisure. I is for ideas and causes. Sharing your passions about cures for cancer, philosophy explorations. Thoughts are the same in both worlds, but far easier to share around the world. F is for friends. No matter how close or casual you are, you have made some sort of connection with another human being. And that interaction that you share is a commonality that makes for a bonding of friendship, or now could I say enmity for those really nice, not nice people. Okay. 5 is T is for time. We are spending real time, and it's the same in both worlds, even if the perceptions in virtual are far more exhilarated. Privacy is in both is important. That's an interesting one. And guess what, girl? That's the only time anybody has ever brought that up. I will have to think on that. But thank you for that contribution. And before, as I go along, I keep changing it. So my whole Clift thing has gone down the drain. Then others have added T for tariffs because we pay tier and we do things to exchange. And the money is in both worlds. And then last, and of course none of you know anything about this at all, S is for sex. Because for some it's more real in here or they're getting more in here than they would in real. So anyways, those are the things that are in common in both worlds. So if we think of just those, satisfaction, okay. Girl, you and I are going to have to get together and find out because you have a different viewpoint. All right, so now what we have is we have all sorts of different perception. So, okay. So what we do here is we actually have multiple perceptual frame of references. And so what we do is we implant our perspective on all that come in contact with, and then we tell them that you're wrong. You're wrong. You're not like me, therefore you're wrong, and there we go, battling it out. So the question is, can there be any other equally valid ways of being? Okay. We have people who are saying, I'm playing it real, why aren't you? And then you're bad. And there it says, this is just a cartoon world. You're stupid if you think that this is real. So you're bad. Yeah, there it goes on and on and on. And it's the fact that we see only one way that causes difficulties. That's our problem. And until we can get together as to what this is and how we interact, we're going to still not be able to explain to the outsiders what's going on. And they're still going to think we're idiots. So here we go. Here's the illustrious ugly words that we're going to use to describe what it is, and I'm going to define them for you. The first one is called disassociative. And if you knew disassociative as a psychologist, ignore that. This is a targeted disassociation, and the target association is, but everyone should treat each other as real people instead of just avatar with no feelings. Okay, by the end of this, honey, I will hope for you we'll be able to actually have a valid look on this really quick, okay? All right, disassociative is a state of being, and the whole point of this is that you are All of these states of being are valid. I'm going to try to prove that. Disassociative, meaning they don't put value in the pixels. Immersive is the ones that say, I am real here, I'm real there, I am my avatar, period. And augmentative means that they're using the components that are in the virtual world to augment or add to the real life. Pixelating, yes. Exactly. So one of the major things that we have to do when we have our relationship is that we have to be able to discern what kind of state of being the person we are talking to is in. Are they playing us? Are they really expressing feelings? Do they not know what they're talking about? Or what is that they're after? They're really trying to sell you their paintings? What's going on? So the most important thing is that you cannot change that other person. What you can change and what you can have control over is knowing you. So first you need to know yourself and what your danger points are. Pixelating. Do you know a pixel is a very small dot and that there is over 100 in this room? Thank you for elaborating, dear. All right. Know your danger points. If you have needs that say you're lonely, you're looking for support, fame, entertainment, money, love, sex, know that's a weak point. Put that on your red flag. If you have desires, then that is just like any salesman. They will lurk to find your weak spot. So if they hit your weak spot right on the first, immediately put up a yellow flag saying, wait a second, this may not be exactly right. But we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. First off, I'm going to tell you about your engagement level as a disassociative. Now, disassociative means they look at the pixels and they're not real. So therefore, you're not real. Okay? If everyone finds my weak spot. Poor baby. Okay, so what are the disassociative means, of course, dis means apart and asunder, and associative means they don't associate with the pixels, our virtual world. Okay. These are a disassociative beliefs, so listen carefully and see if any of them pertain to you. Virtual worlds are cartoon worlds of pretending. How cute. Look at that cartoon. Move, run, jump, and dance. I would rather be me than anyone else in the world. Okay. I get to pretend to be anything I want. Those I play with are pretending also. Pushing or abusing a cartoon is not like abusing someone in real. When I turn off the computer, that ends my interactions. There is no truth in a fantasy game. I come in here to relax. And when I get bored, I might have my cartoon do mean things to your cartoon for a giggle. It can't be lying if I'm pretending anyway. The plot may be kind of intriguing, but a new plot might take its place anytime if I get bored. Okay, this is a disassociative player's beliefs. Truly, totally, their beliefs. You are not real as a pixelated person. Therefore, the only thing they're in here for, and we'll get to that, is your reactions to their extremities. These are the disassociative people, as they admit that from the beginning. There you go. Now this is where we'll get through that and keep going, talk at Hurwit. But your mind can't be shut down like a PC. Okay. I keep wanting to jump ahead. Okay, I'll keep going, so I'll be good. So what is good and bad about being disassociative? The good part is it gives you autonomy. It lets you move freely, explore, and try new things without perceived consequences. It brings no residue into their real life. It's entertainment and distraction. It separates your worlds and allows compartmentalization. And things in virtual do not hurt me. Role-playing lets me write a script so I can be creative. All those are good things. And in fact, it is an awesome fact to be in a virtual world, and it's almost like vacation mode. Remember when you go into vacation mode and you're going out the door at 5 o'clock on Friday and you know you have 2 weeks off, the boss stops you, says, well, did you finish? And you hold up your hand, say, talk to the hand. I am on vacation. That's exactly what being a disassociative is like. Nobody gets to tell you what you're doing. And they come in here with that idea that this is their party. Nobody can tell them no. They are on vacation. This is a different world. This is a different environment, and they are disassociative to anybody telling them what they have to do. So a lot of times people start off in a disassociative manner because when you first get into game or world, you're going Control, Alt, Shift, whatever, and you're not really in it. But as you go along, I get to run away. Yes, exactly. You get to run away from the real world. That's exactly what you do as a disassociative. It becomes your vacation. And they see it as that. Don't tell me what to do. So I can be a griefer, and I can pick on you. I can tell you, oh my gosh, I've had cancer. I'm going to die in 3 months, and see your reaction. That's very good, Hillet, because it is an evolutionary process. Psychologically, there is a progression that I have observed through all of the interactions online. And then you're doing so good. I'm so happy for you. Okay, bad. The bad is they're blinded to any other perceptions. Disassociative is one of those perceptions that say, you're an idiot. It's a compulsory perception. You're an idiot if you believe anything not like me. Okay, so it's one of those compulsory ones. And they will hurt others that are not playing that way seriously and in real life, and we'll talk about that when we get to immersives. And then of course, they're missing any true connection that could augment their real life because you're just a cartoon. So no real life friendships or trusts. And they usually can never stay long enough to learn anything of value because they're in here for entertainment. So that is usually the good and bad things about being disassociative. Now, how do we discern that the person that's telling me I love you, after sex in here, yeah, whether he is role-playing or whether he is actually playing you? That's the part. So first of all, we have to decide what other interfaces would tend to support a dissociative perspective. Okay. Now, before our illustrious virtual worlds, there are many cartoon worlds that encourage violence as a way to progress. Eve, you have World of Warcraft, you have all of these other gaming things. And all of them have smash, bang, crash, boom, bang, whatever. But how many actually see or feel themselves killing? Being disassociative in this case would be the more desired state. You would be considered sick if you thought otherwise. So consequently, if you are knowing that you're talking to a gamer, to create a new real life in here, yeah, a lot of people duplicate what they did in real life. It's amazing. Their feelings hurt before they come to real terms with the love on virtual world versus the real world. I call them hiccups, but we'll get into that in a minute. Like a dog has, okay. So we have the virtual world people who are disassociative, and they do not see anything that they do in here as real, okay? So we could tell possibly that they are not really into it because they will react like a disassociative. Now, put this in a nice little compartment folder. We could call these folders names anything we wanted, Bob, Sue, Mary, but I just use these words because I'm in education and they like big words. Okay. Now, somebody who is these characteristics now, write these down and check these off. Are they pushing and bumping? No time is spent on their avatar looks, or they take a non-human form. Those are the ones in transport and saying, nice shoes, wanna. Yeah. Saying conflicting statements. For instance, like you say something to the effect that my favorite color is red and I hate dogs. And then a week later, the person says, my favorite color is blue. In just a second, I got to go let my puppy out. Once you start seeing any conflict like that, then put yellow flags up, yellow flags up. This may be a disassociative, in which case you are their entertainment. Okay, no time is spent on avatar looks or takes a non-human form. Okay, the reactionary statements. Sometimes a vulgarity or profanity to get your reactions. They can't afford me if I get the shoes. Okay, so a lot of times it's the griefers that come in here and they'll say, you know, you effing blah, 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 you know, and they go on. Forget it, run, run, run. Okay, they are busy having, you are their entertainment. The more you react, the more they are entertained. If you want to get them upset, and you're in voice, what you need to do when they start giving you this horror thing is yawn loudly. That drives them batty because they want to have your reaction. Their reaction, you are their entertainment. Uh-oh. Am I not? Did someone lost sound? Am I still here? Okay. Just go too far, though. You don't have to, when I'm in my world and I give this lecture, okay, good. When I give this lecture, what I do is I take out a little hammer and I go out into the audience, and it's a little bitty pink hammer that goes boing, 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 and it has little hearts shoot out. And I go and I hit somebody on the head. And I say, I'm sorry if you're immersive, but I hit you on the head. I'm going to ask you, did that hurt? Yeah, and they took energy from others, either negative or positive. And I stopped peeing on shoes. They go under control. Okay, when I hit them, they said they have to tell me, no, they're not really hurt. I says, well, if you're a disassociative and you reacted to my little hammer, you would have said, hey, Pam, you're hitting me with your little hammer. I'm going to take out my great big hammer. And I say, okay, I'm going to take out my pig gun. And he's going to say, I'm going to take out my mega energy cannon. And then we're going to go back and forth like that because that's very disassociative. We're going to shoot each other because that's a disassociative engagement level. I want your hammer. That is disassociative because we really don't see the pixels as us. And we are playing that way, which is a perfectly acceptable way to play if you keep yourself separated from the fact that this one is play. So I have been trolled and griefed in voice, slandered in text. I have been shot off my lecterns. I have been thrown cow pies at. Whoosh. They aren't playing that way. Yes, it is. This is one of the reasons that I'm trying to get people to understand the different levels of engagement. And then I'm going to try to give you a valid reason why that is a good level of engagement. Okay. Network is getting a hiccup too. Okay, so yeah, it's very hard. I actually was telling people that we should divide the worlds up into disassociative, immersive, and augmentative and let people cross only when they wear their red shirt or whatever. Okay, so this is often, they can do extremes, They can be the bad guy because it isn't them. They don't see themselves as that. So they're disassociative, what they are, I can be king of the vampires. I can do all that. I can rape you. It's okay because I'm just role-playing a Gorian thing. It's also called newbie behavior because, we want to see your reaction and we figure we're Mario Brothers and we can smash, crash, whatever. Disassociative, you're not real, you're just pixels. Once you recognize that they don't see you as real, Separate your feelings from that engagement. Watch them as if they are cartoons, okay? Look for separationistic comments and profiles. No drama, don't ask, keep the world separate. All those things give you a big hint that this person is not quite there to the immersive yet. They usually are quick change artists, and if they're bored, they're going to go do something like that. All of these things help you recognize that maybe the person you're talking to is disassociative. That means they're not really there. Means don't put your heart into this engagement. Just watch it as if it was a cartoon. Okay? Now, once you've been able to discern that you've got a yellow flag up, that this person is very possibly a disassociative, and you have separated, you're consciously separating yourself from your emotional engagement with this individual, then you can actually look at it without so much pain. Now, the next thing I have to do is I have to validate for you why disassociative state of being is valid. How many of you, and type it away, have actually seen or heard of a character known as Don Rickles? He is a comedian, an old-time comedian. Anybody heard? Okay, so we have some people who have heard of him. Yes. Don Rickles was, in my opinion, my very first awareness of a troll. I thought he was, when I was a little girl, I thought he was a naughty, mean man. Who in the heck would go out into the audience and tell people, what are you doing sitting with that fat slob, and where's your bald, king of sarcasm. I mean, he's in their face, twisting and yelling, and I could not understand it. Everybody was laughing, and everybody, hockey puck, everybody was having just a great time watching him insulting people, even the people he was insulting. I just didn't get that. And as a good little girl, I turned off the TV anytime I saw him come on because I thought he was a bad man. Anyway, as time went on and I was growing, married, and had kids, I saw him picked up at the doctor's office an entertainment magazine thing, which I never do. And it said something about relationships in Hollywood and how they don't last for longer than 2 years tops. Is the normal run-of-the-mill for a Hollywood marriage. So consequently, I'm saying, okay, I look at this and they said, however, there's a big exception to this. And they said, Don Rickles had been married 28 years at that time. So the author of the article said that he wanted to meet not Don Rickles, but his wife. Because, after all, the wife must be one of those really subs that she could be beaten all the time and everything is here. And she would never, ever do anything. So he went over and got called, and she accepted the appointment. He went over there to interview. She opened the door. She was tall, nice-looking, articulate. She invited him in, was very courteous, offered him refreshments and his seat. And then he started right in his questions. He said, can you explain to me how come in Hollywood the average years is 2 years married, and you have been married to the meanest, orneriest man in all of the entertainment for 28 years? And she looked at him and she smiled and she said, that is the most devoted husband, father, and friend on this planet. When the guy brought his jaw off from the floor, she continued. She said, he gets rid of all of his frustrations, emotions, and negativity when he is on stage. When he comes home, he has nothing left but wanting to give love and support to those that are his family and his friends. So being a disassociative in a virtual world And getting rid of all your frustrations can be valid. So when I am attacked and slandered and shot at and thrown cow pies at, and I've had a whole universe of popcorn balls so that the whole area was filled with planets, I take a deep breath and I think, okay, this is one less dog kicked. This is one less domestic dispute, one less road rage, and maybe one less employee going postal. If indeed an individual is coming into a virtual world to release his frustrations, angers, and anxiety, then it may be the most valid use for immediate of real life's help than any other component of our state of beings. So I just think it's okay. And I step back and I let them play it out and do not give them any feedback. Okay? That is your disassociative, and it is a valid state of being. And yes, we will talk about the fact that they are evolving states of being as well. The next one is immersive. And immersive means, of course, deep definition is to be deeply involved and absorbed. Okay, so what are the beliefs of an immersive engagement? My avatar is me. Other avatars represent real people and deserve respect. If I wouldn't behave like that in a real world, I should not behave like that in a virtual world. If I experience a threat in virtual, I am threatened in real. I only say what is true to me in both worlds. I feel what the other person is saying and I internalize it. My emotions are just as engaged in virtual as real. I can learn so much from all my interactions in here because it gives me experiential learning and becomes part of my frame of reference for real life interactions. I come in here to meet people and engage with others. And of course, others are in the same state of being, which we had talked about is not so. So we have these difficulties now. We have one set of people who believes that nothing here is real except entertainment, and another set of people who believe that everything here is just as real as possible. And let me tell you, the immersives are on both ends of the IQ scale. Both ends. You have those who are so terribly brilliant that they can totally immerse themselves in another construct and feel a part of something. I'm the same me here as I am, but it's also my fun, yeah. So they are really smart and they can feel it and engage in it completely in their mind. And then there's those others that are on the other end of the IQ scale that are so immersive they can't tell that there's a difference between one and the other. So it's also a good place to learn to be more social. It isn't exactly, and that's one of, disassociative is mostly labeled by those who are coming in for entertainment or a release. Immersives are coming in for the purpose of social. You are important. Our interactions are important. There is validity in the connections with another human being in any manner, whether it's reading a book, talking on the phone, or being in virtual worlds. There is a connection being made, and that is seen as valid. Immersives will find value in the people that you interact with. So the good things about being immersive is that you can make real life connections and friendships. You can stay engaged with an activity long enough to analyze and learn from it. You can feel the touch of someone and value it in your mind. Okay, what did Nico? Can someone be both, have mixed personalities that you're discussing? Oh, you're right, Nico. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going through it. You're ahead of me, but you're right. We're going to go today. I hear it. Night to prove. Okay. Um, okay, I can feel someone's touch. Okay, now. At one point in time, I was thinking, I was having really hard days, and I'd come in here and I would, text a few of my guy friends, and I would say, I'm having a bad day and I need to wind down. Can you give me a night dance? And they knew what that meant. That meant I would like to go into a place where thank you very much. I'd like to go into a place that has a nice soft music, that's slow dancing, where you cuddle into a thing, and I put my head on his shoulder, and he hugs me, and I allow myself mirror neurons. Mirror neurons reflect back, and I allow my mirror neurons to take me there, and I feel it, and it's a connection, and lo and behold, within 5 minutes, I'm asleep. I'm ready to go to sleep. And I say, night, night, thank you for my night dance. And it's cheaper than alcohol, pills, or anything else because you allow mirror neurons. Now, for you guys who aren't getting this, mirror neurons is something that you actually experience when you watch the funniest home videos and somebody gets kicked in the crotch. And us women laugh because all the guys' hands go right there. They experience that. There's a fire in the hall. Okay. So what we have is mirror neurons. It allows you to have your body has some sort of the same experiences as you have in real life. So it duplicates it. And that's what you do when you're an immersive. You actually allow your mirror neurons to take you there and experience part of it emotionally. Okay. Oh, if I get disconnected, I'm sorry. We have a lovely lightning thunderstorm going on here, but I love you all. Thank you. Okay, it far extends their reach of experiences with more geographically diverse contacts, and because time is shorter in world, engagements are full, the speed of accumulating experiences and learning can be exponential. All right, the bad things about being immersive, and there are bad things. These are a part of us who we are. You mean ladies who aren't pregnant, but show symptoms. All right, bad. The same perceived restraints in real life are extending to virtual. So, in other words, you have no experiments. There is no way to try out anything else if you're block yourself into the same thing and say, I'm not going to do anything except what I do in real. And so that's a bad thing. And a lot of immersives have a tendency to say, no, I'm not going to do anything else. So the guys come in here and they won't ever be a female, and the females will never be anything else because they will only be what they are in real life because they think everything else is a lie. Okay? It brings residue of interactions into real life, good or bad. In other words, if I'm in love, I am walking with a smile and my step, and I am happy, and people can see I'm glowing, and I can't help it. If somebody kicked me off their sim and I didn't, and and they're not listening to me, and I really meant to say that, and they misunderstood that, and I didn't say what she said, he said, and I can't stand this anymore. I'm going to be losing sleep, rolling and tossing and turning, wondering, how am I ever going to get them to understand what I really meant, what they were saying, and that was what I was trying to do, and all that stuff. You know how you go through that over in your mind and over and over in your mind? You'll never get to sleep. So that's a bad thing about being immersive. You get the residues come into real life, both bad and good. Sometimes you can feel obligations in here trump real life. In other words, I have a link to one of my articles in one of my blogs that talks about a couple who was doing a dance club, and they refused to deal with their 3-year-old child who was near starvation. And so it was, they actually were ignoring the child, so it had to be taken away. So sometimes when you feel that this is trumping your real life, you got to remember that this is an additional life. Yes, you heard about that. Yeah, and it is a compulsory feeling, and being immersive has its downs as well as its up. Okay, also it has no break is viewed. If you're immersive, so lives merge. Um, that you actually, I have to do this in real, I have to do this in virtual. You don't have the vacation mode that the disassociatives have because you're both in both worlds. Yeah. Okay, so virtual experiences can really cause pain and trauma. And I've talked about this before in a more elaborate thing before in the other worlds is about virtual rape. And women who have experienced that, or men too, who have experienced that and were immersive at the time, actually have to go through almost all the same steps that somebody in healing in real has to go through. Because something that you considered of value was taken from you forcefully. And it can be quite traumatic if you're an immersive. When I was raped, I was disassociative, so I gave him a slap according to the role play, and we went about that way. But anyways, it can be, if you're in this state of being, absolutely devastating. And an immersive is totally blinded, just like our disassociatives. Oh, there goes the thunder. Disassociatives in thinking that this is the only correct way of engaging in a virtual world. So they're blinded to any other perception, just like our disassociatives. And that's our mic here is mic problems. Hopefully it's not mic problems. I think it's just the thunder and lightning. But all right. Now we want to talk about why this is a valid state of being. Other or engagement levels, other interfaces would tend to support an immersive perspective. Okay. What other engagements you have? We expect honest representation from people in broadcasting, in email, our voice communications, Skype, Facebook. We expect it to be relatively honest. Why? Just because you're in a virtual world, you get to lie through your teeth. I worked at a university, and the university actually told me I was bad. I said, why was I bad? Because you were talking to people on the computer. I said, I talk to people on the phone as well. Yes, but that's talking on the phone. I said, okay, so it's talking on a red cell phone, not right, and a black cell phone is right. What is the difference? To be real. Before that, I don't care what they are. That's an interesting way to define it. It's very hard for you to make definitions and for everybody to say that this is exactly how you change back and forth. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about is how can you decide if the person you're talking to is indeed an immersive. And believe me, that's very important to know if they are immersives, because then you better watch what you darn well say. 5 different more will be norm to have avatar online. I don't know what that is, but okay. Great care is given to their avatar because they perceive it as of great value and of them. They usually will join a community or a job or an organization. They're dedicated to the social norms of their environment. By the way, we all have to be thankful to our immersives in any culture. Absolutely imperative. Whether you're going into Puerto Rico, whether you're going into China, whether you're going into the Moose Lodge. When you first get into a new organization, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, what are all these grown men doing with these funny hats, making these funny noises? This is stupid. And you're totally disassociative and you're just looking at it as a form of entertainment. That's a disassociative. Then as you get to know, you say, hey, that's my boss over there. And there's my doctor, and he plays with my kid. And all of a sudden, the people become real. And I'm not going to any Moose Lodge. And the people become real, and all of a sudden now it's that association and that social component that becomes valuable to you, and you start getting into it. You say, okay, I will wear that funny hat, and I will say that funny noise, and I will be a part of this because there's cool people here, and I might get a raise, who knows. So, okay, all in all, you go in there and you start working out and you do all the extra stuff. I was sitting there, Grand Poobah nutting, yeah. All those extra things going on, and you do all the extra work and you do the volunteering thing, and then you start seeing the social crap that goes on when so-and-so knows so-and-so, makes so-and-so, and I'm going, oh, for Pete's sakes, I don't need to do all this. It isn't really all about that. It's everybody trying to show who's powerful or not. And then you go into what is called an augmentative stage, and that's where you pick and choose how you will engage in the level of whatever you're engaging in. So believe it or not, even though I say this has to do only with virtual environments, because I have no psychological degree in real life, this same construct can be put into any new environment you enter in. He's coming for live for some fun. Okay, so the immersives are the ones that totally believe in the construct. So if you have immersives, they're the ones that create the social rules. They tell you what's good, bad, and ugly. If you're an Eve, you need to do this and that and whatever, and you need to cheat this person and lie to this person to get this person to get their stuff. All of those things are what you're supposed to do in that environment. So yeah, you have to be really careful what the environment is, understand the organization, and what level of engagement you are put yourself in. Okay, but every one of the things has an immersive. Okay, if they're immersive, they are learning in their technology, their verbiage, they're very rule-oriented. You can't be in here if you are dressed like X. You need to dress like in a formal outfit for here, or you're supposed to be in silks and on your knees. And it makes them very upset if you are not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, so it's apologize when they will apologize when they bump into you or sit on you before rezzing. They take a lot of their real life stuff and they put it in here. They're usually very open about their real life because, you know, they don't see a difference yet until after their several hiccups. Until they've had their hiccups. Yep, exactly. They care deeply about making things work in their friendships. That means if you have a friends list of 900 people and you say, oh my gosh, I only talk to 20 people, if you go and eliminate everybody, everyone who is an immersive on your list is going to be at your door saying, why did you take me off your friends list? Don't I count for anything? Why have you? I haven't talked to you in 2 years. Yes, but we're still friends. Give me the light. I cannot see the way home. I'm very immersive. Okay, cares but shows discomfort around those not acting properly. All of those things will tell you that you are talking to an immersive. Now, immersives are not only wonderful there's a wonderful state of being for learning. It's a wonderful state of being if you have two immersives together. However, they can be a total pain when it comes to rules. These are the people that, you know, we had no nudity on the sim. This is a G-rated sim. Okay, so what did they do? Someone went up to 2,000 meters to change their clothes, and they reported it to the whole area that there was a nude person at 2,000 feet, you know, just because they're more into the rules than they are into the actual functionalities of things. So, yeah, that's your immersive. They can be a pain as well as a positive. But they're the ones that control the actual culture of whatever culture you're in. Little immersives. I mean, they can be a pain in the butt. So here we go. Okay, now this next one. This one here is going to be the hardest one for you to remember, I'm sure. This is called an augmentative state of being. Okay? Augmentative state of being. Okay, is to make something that's already developed greater as in size, extent, quantity, or in this case, quality. Okay, now there's two types. I like being a pain. There you go. Is he disassociative or is he immersive? So this is the question. There's two types of augmentative players. There's entry and grown. But we'll come back to that later. Dick implants. Yes, I was attacked by a giant motorcycle dick before. Augmentative beliefs. This is what they do. I come in this environment to sell, teach, learn, buy, network, get a job, make money, find a mate, show off my art, sing or perform, lobby for a cause. This is a tool to contact people. The technology and people are fascinating. I can take it or leave it wherever you present or claim. I will pick and choose what I buy into. My emotions are very judiciously engaged. If I'm playing, I'm playing. Games or role-playing are allowed in context. Social networking has a purpose. And of course, everyone else is in the same state of being. Okay, now we have two augmentative types. This usually breaks down to entry augmentative. These are the people that come in that have come all augmented, Nori. All of the people who come in from another culture, jumping into this particular culture, thinking if I build it, they will come. So they duplicate outside culture and not fit it to our culture. Because this is, I keep telling them, I says, if you build it, they will not come. Because this is a social interaction. If you don't have anything social on, we don't care how pretty your place is, really. After 5 seconds, we're gone. Annoying. They all find me because I shop a lot. Yeah, those are those who want you to, shop a lot, take money. Okay, we like the entry augmentatives because they come in and usually bring outside money, but they don't stay very long because they don't get this environment. They spend all their time trying to make us get their environments, so that's why they fail. A grown augmentative has gone through all 3 stages and understands and can consciously choose what he wishes to buy into, selecting at any point in time to be immersive or disassociative so that he doesn't suffer harm but experiences fully the items that he chooses. This one is, out of the 3 states of being, the only one where you consciously engage. That you recognize what kind of situation it's in, you recognize yourself, how well you would like to be involved in, and then you choose. No, I don't want to be in the middle of this griefing fest. I'm going to sit here and be quiet, or I'm going to step away from the computer and have a cup of coffee. This is where you have control, where you choose. Now, the good thing about being augmentative is pain is not brought into real, because now you're conscious about whether you wish to experience that pain. You get to choose to be fully into a moment consciously, not compulsively. And you can turn the computer off sometimes. Maybe be able to balance a virtual environment with the real life. And you get to choose to augment your real life with the wonders of virtual possibilities fully. The bad thing is not everyone buys into your real life ideas. So greater exposure equals greater risk. Maybe some guilt for opting out of the drama. Oh, you were supposed to be here 5 minutes ago, and I thought you got in an accident, and it was a race, and I was here, and my whole heart after. And all of you, yeah. You are never fully in either world because they are intertwined. They're all bookstore-like. I read lots of them. And if you're an entry, you're oblivious to the fact that there could be any other existence but your own society, and so you are going to not believe that anybody could be immersive in a cartoon environment. Okay, so what other interfaces would support an augmentative perspective? Your life is one big whole. All components should have their slice of your perception, your job, your movies, your virtual world, your relationships, your work. All of those have to be juggled. And that is the job, and it's a full-time job for being a augmentative. Now, characteristics of someone who is a grown augmentative, which is what we all hopefully will be someday, is you get to spot them because they're the ones that usually create the groups. They build a script or design. They are more guarded about their real life information because they've had hiccups in the past. They may have been hurt in the past, resulting in filling in the partner field with a safe friend or an alt. They are determined and focused, sometimes blindly so, to avoid pain. And they have worked out ways to deal with different facets of themselves, often with multiple alt. This is my work alt, this is my Gorian alt, this is my BDSM alt, this is my Star Trek, whatever. Twice shy. You just have to understand and look for the level of engagement the person opposite you is in. Now, if someone is disassociative, and you can discern that, which is what you should be looking for, is what level of engagement they're in, what is going on here, then you can go ahead and mirror back and get out your bigger pig gun, or whatever it is, and not feel anything emotional. Okay? So you can choose to do that, augmentatively wise. May create an avatar that is non-human, or they are usually in world for a purpose and will log on. These are your long-term residents, things that have people who have worked this out little by little. Yeah. Okay. Can you be, here we go, this is exactly what you asked. Can you be all three? Certainly. I had a friend whose name was Ants, and he actually came up with something totally different that I did. And he had actually labeled his friends. He didn't know the dissociative immersive augmentative construct. He would say, you're class 1 friend, class 2 friend, class 3. Class 1 friend is someone you go play stupid stuff. I'm going to go shoot zombies with class 1 friend. Okay? I'm going to jump out of the airplane and go smash with my class 1 friend. Okay? Class 2 friend is usually somebody you're doing something with, a business. Okay, we're building a house or a foam or whatever we're doing here, and we're doing something constructive. That's a class 2 doing something functional together. Class 3 is a personal friend who's pierced the veil of the real life, and you actually will go around and tell them about your hemorrhoid operation. So those are those how we go through. So when he comes online. When he comes online and he's contacted by someone, he will say to a class 3 friend, nope, I'm in a class 1 mood, I'm going out to play. Can someone not hear me? Am I not heard? Please tell me if anybody can hear me. Am I just rambling to myself here? Do, 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 do. Okay, sounds clear. Okay, thank you. Okay, a class, nope, I'm in a class 1 mood, I'm going out to play. Or a class 1 friend, because, sorry, I'm consoling a class 3 friend, or I'm busy with a class 2 contact. So he's actually broken them down in class 1, class 2. So this is what I'm going to kind of wrap it up for, and then we're going to open up for questions or answers or yelling at me or whatever you think I did wrong. And I'm going to give you with something. I write a poem maybe every 7 years, and this was my attempt at writing a poem for this. This is in fact what I named my company after. It's called Virtual Handhold by the Roadside Philosopher, which is me. No, okay. A cartoon world of fun and facades, some in for games or to role play as gods. A place to whine, sing, and escape real life. Explore creativity, marvel at strife. With virtual worlds, the problems continue, burrowing quicker and deeper, consuming within you. How do you sort why feelings run rampant? Why just a few typed words can cover the gamut? The world spins, and many fall away, as their conceptions of what's real are blown as if hay. Where is the value from such confusion? The ups and downs of these shifting illusions. It's when one soul, from across the digital divide, unique and unfailing, shares and does not hide. Then understanding and perspectives are broadened by far, and your soul is infiltrated. You're greater than par. You open and merge, and at the same time, cultures, beliefs, and histories now chime. You are part of something bigger than your limited view. The colors of life have added more hue. Now, we can bring something great out of this, an empathetic forbearing of all life and its twists. Maybe a greater real, if I may be so bold, as we all link together in a virtual handhold. Thank you very much. Create your own. Nothing lasts forever. Your plot is your own. Take ownership. Enjoy the fantasy. But remember, until it crosses to real, it is your story. And guess what? In real, it's your story as well. Design and create your own state of being, your own engagement level. Understand who you're talking with. Remember, all states of being are valid. And then enjoy your life. If you want more information or you would like to get a hold of my book, it's Virgin's Handbook on Virtual Relationships. What I just gave you is a concise thing on Chapter 6. There's also chapters on male perception, female perception, sex online, culturals, all of that. And it does it and talks like me. So if you like my talking, you'll find it in the book. Thank you very much, Anna. Okay, go ahead.
Thank
Argue
you.
with me.
Thank you, Pamela. Does anyone have any questions for our speaker? We'll give them a couple minutes to see. Just to let everybody know that our session at 4 p.m. with James Filorio was canceled. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it. But we do have a dance team that's about to take the stage in the sponsors hall in just a few minutes. But just giving the audience here some time to see if there's any additional questions.
Yes. Anybody have anything they would like to yell at me about? Where was I wrong? And was it a help? That's the question. Did I give you any help?
I'm thinking everyone's good.
Okay.
I'm thinking they're good. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Pamela. I think our audience thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was great having you. We really appreciate having you come out.
Thank you very much. I love being here. Good to see everybody. If you have any questions, I'm easily accessible on my website.
Great. And what's the website address again?
It's virtualhandhold.com.
Virtualhandhold.com. So if you want to talk to Pamela some more, that's how you get a hold of her, virtualhandhold.com. So thank you again, Pamela. That was fantastic. Right now, 4 p.m., we have in the Sponsors Hall stage the CSI dance team. And then don't forget, at 5 p.m., we have the conclusion of VirtualCon 2014, the Audience Choice Awards. So thank you again, Pamela. And we will
Thank you, Anna.
we will see everybody.